Hatuwezi bila power. Three more.
Advance to the next stage. Yeah. Abdumadibu correct. Sawa guys, so tunaanza, we are still setting up. All the way down. Let's go. Nice one. Katoni yake kuna Sanji drop down on the way. Kwa hivi champion muda hii ndo tunaangalia hii. Let's go. Go. Hapa ndo tunaangalia hapa. Mpaka itoe 1 time. Ready? Let's go. 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 Let's go. Go.
The use of set plays. Aaron Barry's running into the box. You haven't really seen.
That was brilliant from Canales.
Nice touch. Now that was sweet.
Well, if they do make it through to the Conference League proper, overcoming Partizan Belgrade in that playoff, Getafe, well, feel like they've got half a chance of a decent run in the competition. And another side from the region of Madrid get to the final last season in the Rayo Vallecano.
And Geta's on the different 3 campaigns so far, and each of them have been distinguished. The absolute was Laudrup's team, just going toe-to-toe, waging war on Bayern Munich, and a stellar Bayern Munich, and eventually going out on away goals, but after a 3-3 draw here at this very stadium.
After Franchu, out comes Aguirre Zabala. It falls to Canales, driving forward, Sergio Canales. Looking for options, plenty of teammates up ahead of him. Vicente can't play the ball back to Canales. And I don't mean to be rude, but on certain occasions it feels like Canales might be playing on another level to some of his teammates. Certainly mentally, the way he views the game, the sharpness of thought. A couple of times, certainly at the start of this second half, where he's been trying to do things that others haven't quite been on the wavelength.
And he, given all he's been through in life, and because of his personality, he's an articulate, fascinating, relatively gentle man.
In towards Canales.
So when you see the frustration that he showed to Vicente, no, it wasn't Vicente, it was Andres Martin, in an open display of what the hell was that? That tells you that his brain was on a different level. He was playing a different type of game. So Racing's number 11. Have I got that? It was Vicente, wasn't it? It was Vicente.
Yes.
It was Vicente. Started off saying Vicente.
Winner of the Copa del Rey with Real Betis, Canales. A handful of caps for the Spain national side. Was in the squad that won the Nations League in 2023. And he's been in Mexico for the last few years, where he's actually had a really big impact for Monterrey. Scored of goals, closing in on 40 goals in the 3 years he was there.
Well, it's a league of athleticism and physicality and hustle and bustle. It's not a delicate league for shrinking violets. If his quality's shown there, it tells you that even at 35 now, there's a lot left in his tank.
For the run of Mojica, it's cut out. Romero coming forward, dispossessed. Andres Martin to Ivan Martin. The first name now to specify which Martin is on the ball. Is Ivan Martin looking for Canales and finding him? That connection between those two players could be really important for Racing as Íñigo Vicente lines up the shot. Instead he plays the pass, and that is the best move of the game and a really good opening for Racing Santander. Andres Martin can't take the opportunity, but it was beautifully constructed.
And if he's a striker, he doesn't even think about a touch here. It's just slide the ball out, try to put it to David Soria's right hand. The setup's lovely. Canales had very evidently forgiven Vicente. The setup ball's really nice. Lopez wanted a penalty. I don't think he was going to get it. I think a toe poke finish, if that's a striker running onto that pass, is the only thing that was pertinent there.
Well, he isn't, in theory, a striker. Andres Martin. He did score 23 goals last season, and he scored last week against Racing as well.
You know the type I'm talking about, a perennial goal-grabbing, grubby number 9. I don't care if it goes in off a spectator. Goal. And yeah, Andres Martinez is slightly more of a cultured footballer than that. He's just a bit over-ambitious and trying to take a touch, I think.
A handful of appearances in La Liga, previously with Rayo Vallecano. Two very strong goal-scoring seasons in the Segunda with Racing. Mojica comes forward. Decent tussle with Mantilla. Mojica the better of him. great ball in. And it's a really good chance for Terrats. Had that being Sunal, perhaps instead of Ramon Terrats, we could have been talking about the first goal.
Satriano, either of the two strikers, the ball's really well judged. It's one of the reasons that Moika's been signed. It's really clear that Racing gave him more time than he should have been given. While he's been man on man, while Racing have managed to stop him doing the things that he's best at, he's given the ball away quite a lot. As soon as you give him space, either to cross or to run with like this, he tends to be more effective.
Best chance of the game so far for Getafe. Here is Terrats, and he's found Unal. He didn't think twice about getting that shot away quickly. Controlled, turned, shot. Couldn't quite keep it down.
I think it's one of the things about, particularly with a player who's looking for confidence and self-belief despite scoring in Europe in midweek, that when you're frozen out of a game for a long time, that just tiny element of snatching at something which helped the ball go over rather than on target is much more easy to find when you've been out of the game, you're not getting touches on the ball. Even applies to Haaland. I was lucky enough to sit down with him for an hour in May, and he went, well, I play in games where the ball doesn't come in, I'm not getting touches. I have to discipline myself to not think about finding a way to touch the ball, to be on the ball. Think about my job, my purpose. He's practically the number one goal scorer in the world right now. Unal's shot was firm, it was nicely struck, but he snatches just that little bit at it. Anxiety, I suppose.
Change. A double substitution. Two players that featured last week off the bench. Yassir Zabiri and Maguette Gueye are coming on. So, those changes then for Racing. Canales, Via Libre going off.
It's the lot of a striker who's asked to press on his own, and he has been asked to press on his own. It hasn't been a concerted press. And you run around, and it makes it look like you're tiring, and you're not served the ball, so you don't get many chances. Slightly surprised to see Canales go off at this stage where he still looked lively.
Yes.
Even at 35.
And Zabiri.
And Zabiri might well have started, Phil, I think, if you cast illusions about the honesty of certain coaches' declarations across your checkered career, where coaches sometimes speak with forked tongue. But what Jose Alberto Lopez said yesterday was that the striker had been through an absolutely terrible time with the flu. He turned up to training looking half dead, and therefore he didn't start. But a big opportunity for him now.
Came from Mojica. Not the best clearance in the world from Pablo Ramon, who might have hurt himself in the process. There was a smattering of applause, I think, for Sergio Canales.
Respect. Yeah. Respect. We saw, listen, I agree with you, and I think he's a very hard player to dislike, no matter what club colours he's wearing. And I really enjoyed Espanyol fans, shout out to them, to you at Cornellà, applauding Cucurella on ex-Barca for Madrid, a Catalan who'd, turned coat and gone to Real Madrid. and they clapped him on because he was a vital part of Spain winning the World Cup, and I appreciate that and I like that. I think it speaks well of them.
Clear foul on Satriano. For that particular foul, because it seemed like the referee was suggesting it had been repeated.
It's a universal gesture, isn't it?
Yes. The chance of Uruguayo from the Getafe fans, appreciative of their Uruguayan striker Satriano and his relentless work rate.
You get the same work rate as Fede Viñas gave. Just slightly less time spent in the outright number 9 position would be the difference.
And from Mojica, Luis Terraz hits it with his right, couldn't keep it down.
Everything else was right about it. The idea, the calmness to turn his man, cut onto his right was important because that stopped the block and the press. And just the body position. That's sweet. Sabiri doesn't know what's happening. This is a slightly less gifted foot.
I think if it stays like this, Racing will be possibly delighted.
2 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
You know, you claim 2 goals at home in the first match. If it stays like this, clean sheet away to Getafe.
Yeah.
They won't go away bitching and moaning, I don't think.
Vicente immediately looks at the pass and he finds Andres Martin. Snatched at that shot a little bit. He was in plenty of space when the ball was played.
Now, if playing the vast majority of the last 2 games with only 10 men each time, if the passion, the excitement of that comeback win against Partizan has taken a toll on Bordalás's players, now's the time for Santander to strike at the jaw, to see if they've got a glass jaw. Zabiri, the 21-year-old Moroccan, adds a very big change of pace compared to Villalibre.
Headed clear, and it's with Puerta now as Racing potentially launch something of a counter-attack. 3 players up for Racing. The ball didn't come. And
Getafe is so smart. They all stopped as one line, knowing that the ball wasn't coming, leaving 2 players in green and white offside, one of which was Zabiri.
Salinas finding Ivan Martin, who will dig out the cross. It's a good one, not far away from Zabiri.
Who didn't time his approach to it very well. Lovely ball, as you pointed out.
Turn from Ivan Martin. It's brought a corner for Racing.
That was half a Bergkamp. That movement, Bergkamp, yes, against Newcastle or Leicester, one or the other, where the little clip and the swivel, the trouble is the player was going one way and the ball was going the other, which is not how Dennis executed it. Still, with 20-ish minutes to go, set plays count as a big opportunity, even for a team that's outgunned physically like Racing are here against Getafe.
It's taken short to Puerta. Fires it in. Straight at Soria. It's headed clear.
Well, Satriano, was it? What was Soria doing? I mean, the ball was coming at him in a way that if he calls for it, he's just simply going to catch it. There was no communication whatsoever.
It's a long throw from Puerta. Now Vicente, back to Salinas. Gets it into a dangerous area. It falls to Vicente, who gets the shot away. Wasn't quite coming down quickly enough from Inigo Vicente. A few whistles, nervy whistles from the Getafe crowd.
You don't hear that a lot. You genuinely don't. They're so patient. Racing are relaxing into this, beginning to enjoy it. It's so fascinating that at the moment, Racing are going off. You think, well, maybe there's kind of diminution to enjoy it. It's so fascinating that at the moment, with Canales going off, you think, well, maybe there's kind of diminution in terms of quality, in terms of line breaking, and Puerta has come into his own because the space in front of him has been cleared out and he's performing differently, maybe partly because Canales is not in front of him and maybe partly because Getafe are tiring slightly.
Satriano out wide to Mojica. Falls to Maguette now. Vicente.
It's a nice ball. Don't know if he's on, but it's a lovely ball.
Andres Martin. Said Romero insists that Andres was offside. It is a corner for the visitors.
Yep. Janet playing him on, I think.
By Terraz, near post.
Paulo Ramon. It's wages stock for that. Fair to say that neither side has looked as if they've ever encountered corners before.
I was just thinking 12 corners and none of them have been dangerous at all. Apart from the one that hit the bar, which almost went straight in. Here's Mojica.
Wayward and hopeful by the Colombian, but he's not far off being the best player for Getafe so far, I would say. Definitely, including his goal against Partizan, looking like an addition.
Vicente out to Puerta. Puerta with the control. Just giving time for Sazonov to come across and dispossess him.
Yeah, there's a chance of a left foot shot. He just didn't trust himself enough.
Are we surprised at the lack of substitutions from Getafe?
I think they're tiring and they're gifting space, and I think Racing have sniffed blood. They're not a killer team. They're new to the division, but they know that they're playing in different parts of the pitch. They're getting more time on the ball. There's more space for the passes. As such, I'm a little bit surprised that Bordalas hasn't decided that it's time to refresh his team athletically. He does have a phrase, about it's not about athleticism, it's not about tiredness, it's about mentality. He uses that phrase over and over again.
He's also a coach who quite often doesn't use all 5 substitutes in the game. We're ticking towards the 75th minute, so and we'll probably have the second hydration break. Maybe we'll be able to hear from Jose Bordalas. And from Puerta again, a very long throw. Unconventional chest from Zaid Romero. It's cleared, headed back by Manu Hernando. Salinas tries to bring it down and it goes down, and a penalty is given. Well, Sazonov, who is on a yellow card as well, the judge to have caught Salinas.
Did you see it as a loose flying hand? So Salinas goes down holding his face, but it looked, and maybe it's inadvertent, but it looked like the Georgian injudiciously used his hand or his forearm. Certainly that's the way it looked to me. There's a forward movement there. I think the referee might be backed by his colleagues here. It's that movement. Well, and Phil, why?
right in front of the referee as well. He's staring straight at it.
And he takes a pause, doesn't he? Our referee just he takes 3 beats to think about it. What did I just see? Points at the spot. I think his colleagues in VAR will definitely back him.
Yep.
Wow. Well, Sassanov didn't look fantastic in Mariano's goal last week up at Mendizorroza. Just look, as I pointed out, a little bit short of the sharpness you get after a long, settled one-club pre-season. And at the moment, he's given the promoted side an opportunity to go ahead. Soria, not a negligible rival, even from the spot.
Andres Martin scored last weekend against David Soria. Oh, and Soria is saved. That is a quite brilliant save from David Soria. At full stretch, gathering the ball and denying Racing.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think the penalty is not deficient. Pointed out that Soria is an excellent goalkeeper, even facing a shot from 11 metres. He's absolutely terrific. Feet are positioned perfectly. Left foot is still on the line. He's up so quickly. If there's any damage done, it's off the Georgian player as he runs past him. Eyes on the prize. Sabiri doesn't touch him. It's definitely Sassanov as he runs past.
Hydration break after real drama. Andres Martin, who had scored the penalty last week, denied by David Soria. He struck the penalty well enough. You can see there Soria was getting congratulated by Diego Ferrer, the substitute goalkeeper.
Glum faces, Phil.
Wow. Unfortunately, we're unable to hear what Jose Bordalas is saying. But he's giving us a good idea of
how he feels.
Yes.
Look, you and I were doing a little bit of verbal juggling about European football, league football. Fact is that if for some reason Racing go on to win this, it will leave Getafe bottom of the table, 2 games, 2 defeats. It's a very uncomfortable way to begin. If by some chance Racing win this game and then Getafe go away to Belgrade and don't go through the round, it's been a thoroughly pessimistic beginning to the season for a man who renewed and believed that there were good things coming. For the moment, for the fans, it's almost as good as scoring a goal. What a signing he's been. And people often forget, Europa League winner himself, with Sevilla against Liverpool in Basel, I think it was, just under, guess who is the Sevilla coach. And he simply just collects Europa Leagues and is the current Europa League holder in Emery. A few minutes more of a case to back what you said about potentially Getafe bringing on substitutes, Phil? Does it feel like the need is higher?
It does. And yet, here is Terraz in the corner for Getafe.
So, 12 corners so far, miserable in their execution. Substitutes probably won't be made before Terraz bends one in again, do you think? Tends not to be the case for the coaches.
Here is Terraz. Doesn't beat the first man.
Somewhere on the banks of Lake Como, at least me is watching this game going, no, that's not how I do it.
Calmly done by Janae into the last 10 minutes of this game, which remains goalless. And it really does feel as if either side can go on and win it.
His new teammates getting used to each other. The ball played in by Mojica. He goes on the run. He's in a good position. He does not get it returned to him.
Here is Andres Garcia, who does get it back. Pulls it across! And it's Enis Unal! Getafe find the breakthrough. What a turnaround in their fortunes. Just when it looked like they were going to concede at the other end. A brilliant, brilliant penalty save. And then a tremendously worked goal. Super work down the right-hand side. And Enis Unal gets Getafe's first league goal of the season.
Well, you miss penalties in the Primera Liga and you get punished. It's a really nice goal. We talked about how hard Satriano works. The Turk has barely been involved all game. There's no offside there, partly because Taras comes onside just in the right moment. The ball across is unbeatably good. It's exactly in the area where the defenders haven't got back quickly enough. Aguirre Zabala can't come out for it. The only thing you might be a little bit critical of is whether Mantilla is physical enough and gets in front of his Turkish opponent, but it's a right good goal. 2-2 for Enis Unal now.
Cruel, harassing. And as you said, welcome back to the Primera División.
Yeah, don't make mistakes. That's the message.
Well, given away there by Terraz. He's Vicente. Still feel like there could be another goal in this. Francho out to Mojica, striding forward.
Yeah, he's having fun now.
It's superb from Mojica. The ball in is a dangerous one. Just too much on it from Johan Mojica. But in this second half, he's Getafe's best player.
Yeah, it was Francho who didn't give Mojica the 1-2 that he wanted. Mojica just stood there with his hands on his hips, and 30 seconds later, Enis Unal was tucking the ball away, but Mojica says to himself, you can see, if I'm not getting the return passes, I'm doing it myself. I'm off for a run. Always enjoyable to watch him. 5 seconds. First of all, the substitution for Getafe has been delayed. Yes. Has it been changed, I wonder?
Looks like it might have been.
Would be archetypical of Bordelast, I think. At 0-0, I've got specific substitutes to be making. At 1-0, I've changed my mind about what they're going to be. No shame in that whatsoever, and it would be typical of the way his tactical brain takes over quickly.
It's Mantilla. Mojica back defending.
Really well played. Maybe that's a battle we're going to see repeated over the remaining minutes of the match. Mantilla must feel that he owes his side something. He was caught napping a little bit by Enis Unal. Good goal.
Andres Garcia going off after providing a superb assist. And generally looking dangerous down that right-hand side. On comes Sebastian Boselli. We'll see what that means, because maybe Boselli will play it right back, or maybe Gine can fill in there. So it does look like Boselli is going to be on the right-hand side. Manu Hernando. Just want to get on with it.
It's interesting that it's Turk who's gone to help him. I think Borlas will be saying leave him alone.
Yes.
If they have to put on a physio or a doctor, then Racing then go down to to 10 men for a full minute after the game restarts. I think that'd be rude of a Bordelas to say to Ennis, you know, if somebody's lying, if an opponent's lying there with Grant, don't touch him. Nice image.
Well, we'll see whether or not Ronaldo can continue. Facu Gonzalez might come on. It's Vicente. It's charged down. Vicente again to Maguette. Looking for the run of Salinas. He gets there. It's a shove in the back as well. Keeps it in. Gets another shove. And it's a throw. Trying to turning into Maguette. There's Inigo. A challenge from Franco Serrano. And now gets it back from Terraz. And wide to Satriano. An important challenge from Salinas.
The crowd screaming mano mano, thinking that after the first challenge the ball came off his hand. It was an all or nothing tackle by the youngster that Barcelona liked so much. Look at the sandwich here. Jenny patrolling one side, Francho the other, the Moroccan striker robbed.
Well, it's Facu Gonzalez coming on to replace Hernando. And change as well for the visitors.
And a controversial one. Well, because Arana, the fans and the local media want to see playing. It was dropped last week and all week. Jose Alberto Lopez has had to face a bit of an inquisition. Is there a row? Is he leaving? What's going on? He's a genial man, an articulate man, but his answer has been none of your business. He'll play when I say so.
With him on. Maguette, just about.
Maguette has had an impact on this game since he came on. It's looking like the kind of thing where you wonder why the 23-year-old wasn't a central part of Racing's midfield right from the kickoff. Really enjoyed watching him.
There's Ivan Martin.
Maguette at 23 is bossing Ivan Martin, who in his days played Champions League football, where the ball should go next. Textbook. See a little bit of space, look up, no pass, put the anchors on, bash, knocked over, free kick, time bought, a pat on the back from the coach when I go into the dressing room.
And off goes Martin Satriano to a standing ovation. And on comes a player who may not be here at the end of the transfer window. Getafe reportedly looking for an exit for Borja Mayoral.
It shows how times changed. Yes. Back in the day, they relied on him so heavily. When he was injured, it was petrifying for them. No longer, it seems.
Luis Abu Ramon.
وسنشيك كان
of the 90s. Tries to find a handle. 6 minutes have been added on. There is time for an equaliser.
All crisp and clean first half. No substitutions, cooling break. And that's literally 2 minutes, but a flood of substitutions and a goal. Plus the cooling break meant that 6 was inevitable-ish. Off Mike, it's exactly what you predicted to me. Honestly, I think for Racing as well, it's not about the quantity of time left. It's about either one of the players doing something special, getting lucky, because Getafe genuinely are masters at seeing this position out. They've got the defensive mentality. Never mind who the back five is, about how to see out games, how to make it very difficult for opponents to get back in matches. And Racing not to play on their club colours.
Kikosi ndio hiyo. Kikosi cha Barcelona kuna kikosi ndio hiyo, kuna Jay Garcia ameshikilia mchuma hapo. Ni wapi kikosi mucheki wenyewe, yani ni wape kosi mucheki wenyewe, ndo hiyo kikosi ndo hiyo. Kikosi ndo hiyo kama unavyoona mshikaji, kikosi ndo hiyo kama unavyoona hapo. Kikosi imetulia tu, haina maneno. Kikosi katulia na haina maneno. Kama unavyoona mshikaji, kikosi ndo hiyo. Ona hapo, kikosi imetulia tu. Kuna Jay Garcia ndo anashikilia mchumo wa Barcelona. Kuna left to right. Left tuko na J Martinez. After kuna Garcia na Christiansen expert. Garcia ndo mbaya jomba. Midfielder hiyo na Gavi, Amali uko left right Yamal, alafu kuna F Lopez, kuna Rafinha, kuna Adeyemi. Hii kosti ni mbaya jomba, ni mbaya. Hii kikosi ni mbaya jomba, ni mbaya. Kikosi ni mbaya jomba, ni mbaya. Kikosi ni mbaya. Kuna F Lopez, kuna Rafinha, Adeyemi. Ni mbaya jomba, ni mbaya. Ni kikosi ya Barcelona. Bakayo. Barcelona. Kikosi ni mbaya. kuna Barcelona. Mimi as you know, mimi na supporting yenye imelemewa. Mimi na supporting yenye imelemewa, si yenye na win. So timu yangu hapa, timu yangu ni ile yenye imelemewa. Kuna ile yenye imelemewa, hiyo ndo na support hiyo. Hiyo ndo na support hiyo kwa sasa. Kwa sasa dakika la khaya. Na support yenye imelemewa. So timu yangu hapa, timu yangu ni ile yenye imelemewa. Na ile yenye imelemewa, hiyo ndo na support hiyo. Na support ile timu imelemewa. Na support yenye imelemewa. How to create ceasefire animation. Timu yangu hapa, yangu ni ile imelemewa. Na ile yenye imelemewa, na support hiyo. Na support ile timu imelemewa. Create ceasefire animation.
Here's the Elche team today. 10 of the 11 players. Well, they think it's the Barcelona team. First of all here, although they're away from home. Slightly unfamiliar look. A lot of players getting back to fitness after the World Cup. No Rodri yet. And only Karim Adeyemi of the new signing starts though.
Unaweza ingia kwa Keva tunaenda kufanya research.
Unajui ni nini?
Unajua kuna tribes zingine zimeweka vitu zao kwa Kevu.
Getting the left back spot, 19 years old, with Alejandro Balde very much now out of favour and out of the squad.
Mbaya boya, ni mbaya Jomba, ni mbaya.
Coach, and a special presentation being made. This is a nice gesture by the home team ahead of the game. Barcelona's World Cup winners being honoured by the home side and applauded.
Kwa hiyo industry, for example, wewe unasema explore, maybe unaendanga dikona Keva.
I think those fans are hoping the generosity ends there.
Yeah, it's been a great achievement, isn't it, by those players? European champions, now world champions. A lot of those put in great performances. Dani Olmo, excellent.
Unajua kuna tribes zingine zimeweka vitu zao kwa Kevu. Unajua hivyo. So wewe umeingia territory ya watu already. Unaona? Haujafanya marital. Haujafanya
best player award, most valuable player.
Haujafanya research zako. Hujafanya research zako. Yaani umeenda kwa territory ya watu. Ya wenyewe. Wao wanajilinda, masoldier wao wanajilinda na hizo vitu. So wewe na kamera yako pale unakuta tenka sound fulani kanaongea.
Elche, by the way, a record sale for them. $28 million they got from Bournemouth team for Alvaro Rodriguez, the striker. And that is a real windfall for a club like Elche, for sure.
Windfall in terms of money, but he will be a miss because he was excellent last season, playing either of the centre forward or playing in the number 10 role.
Sasa pale ndo tunaingia sasa, tunataka kuangalia mechi.
Wao wanajiamini. Unajua sasa ndio hiyo.
Bila mchezo vyombo hapa tunapeleka moja kwa moja mpaka Barcelona. Hechi hapo. Na tunafanya
the last time ulikuwa huko channel ilikuwa
kuna wewe sako kwa bako, kuna wewe sako kwa bako
200 subscribers
mpaka tamati.
Tunajaribu kukumbuka.
Unajua tulikuwa hardworking. Those days content tulikuwa hardworking mbaya
the
sana.
visitors.
Tulikuwa tunajituma mbaya sana kila asubuhi.
La Liga. That was back in January. Only those 2 home defeats, and only Barcelona themselves lost fewer home games than Elche last season. Lose to Barcelona 3-1 on both occasions last season.
Barcelona versus
Yamal scored in the first 10 minutes of both of those fixtures, by the way.
There is the new coach. I'm sure he's done a lot of work with how Elche can break down. Blown up.
Like Real Madrid, Barcelona being allowed a late start to their campaign because of the players arriving back fairly late from the World Cup. They want the free kick there, they're not going to get it. Nino tried to cash in on that.
Gruber, the player that made the interception, tried to break forward. He plays on the right-hand side of that back three.
Things are not adding up. Things are not
And he's done well since he came to this club and broke into Austria's World Cup squad. A lot of high press, a manic high press going on from Elche.